So here I am on my lunch, and I was taking the time to journal, the journaling that I did not do this morning. And so when I journal, I always journal how I'm feeling physically, emotionally, writing down what my energy level is, how I slept, and then going through the things that I want to accomplish in my day and how I'm going to go about doing that. So if my goal, like today, my goal was to learn a few more yoga terms, some yoga terminology. And so I did that by doing some reading and writing down the terms so that I could commit them to memory. And then I also wanted to, I go through a thing where I also journal the things that I'm thankful for to God. And so today I'm basically grateful that He's present and that He's comforting. I'm thankful that God is patient and that I still have some conviction, which means that He has not turned me over to a reprobate mind, but that He cares enough to try to correct me when He sees that I'm going down maybe a not so ideal path, right? And then I always do like a daily message to focus on. And so I was reading Trusting God in the Darkness, right? I read it as needed. And today I was reading page 49. And what was interesting to me is that when it talks about mourning, we always think about physical death, right? And this was the revelation I got, that currently I am in this space where I am mourning several things at once. I'm mourning the loss of family members and close friends. I'm mourning the loss of the relationship I had with my mother cognitively, because now that she has dementia and is declining, my relationship with her, the dynamic has shifted. And so we will never go back to that place of where we were in our relationship as I knew it. So mourning that, and then mourning the loss of some of my physical capabilities that I had prior to this season of my life, right? And so as I'm reading page 49, it was interesting to me that his friends, they were supposed to be there to comfort him. And initially they were. But then I guess over time, as he continued to, as Job continued to grieve, they kind of told him, well, hey, there's something that you had to have done wrong, because no one ever experiences this amount of grief at once, in terms of the loss of his children, then his cattle, which means that his money was affected, the loss of servants, and just pretty much being wiped out, and then also himself being coming under a physical attack. And so his friends just felt like, what did you do? Because there's no way that God will allow all these things to happen unless there was something that you did wrong, right? But I guess once they even got to a place where they thought, well, maybe, I don't know, he didn't do anything wrong. Maybe you didn't, maybe you did, whatever. But because they were older, then they started to try to compare Job's experience with theirs and the things they had experienced in life, right? So sometimes we know in life, we all know that we are not the first person to lose anybody. We're not the last, not the first to lose a child or a sibling or a parent. Won't be the last. Not the first person to experience elderly parents, aging parents and their disabilities, right? Or having to take care of someone with a disability. It's, you're never, but they say there's nothing new under the sun. You're never the first, you're not going to be the last ever. But one thing that I'm learning is that nobody's experiences are yours. Nobody. So just because a person may have lost their brother or all their siblings or their parents or a child, no one else is going to process the way you process. No one else had the type of relationship you had with that person. No one else processes your feelings. No one else has your shape. They don't have your experiences. They don't have your personality, your attitude, your heart. Any of those things, they don't have it. And so therefore their experience is never going to be yours. And so sometimes people will lose empathy, or they will try to rush you through grief and put a timeline on your grief and say, oh, it's been 6 months, oh, it's been a year, oh, it's been this, oh, it's been that. And you should be past that, or you should be in a place where you can navigate differently, you know. And I'm pretty sure that all of us, well, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, I would love for it to be like, oh, December 11th, your grief is over, and that's it. You know, I would love that, but no one can tell you that. And some of the things that I see, you know, working the field that I'm in and just reading different books and listening to certain people, sometimes people's empathy run out because they miss and are grieving their relationship with you a certain way. Maybe you were the life of the party and you're no longer that. Maybe you were positive Patty and you just don't have positivity to give. Maybe you were the person that was always there to help them or call them or lend a hand to them, and you're just not that. Or maybe you were the caregiver in your home, or the person who did all the chores, or the person who did all the cooking, or paid the bills and provided this and provided that. And now you do it, but it's different. You know, it's perfunctory. It's like, this is what I gotta do. Or you do it where your heart is not into it, and you're just saying, this is what I just gotta do. And it's almost like you just on autopilot. And sometimes people will selfishly, want you to just snap out of it and go back to being your usual you, right? So that's why I said nobody's experience is yours. Nobody's, so give yourself grace. Because I'm definitely learning to give myself grace and to just kind of, in certain instances, go with the flow. Whatever it's going to be is going to be. And because such is life.